On MITV, I am Jumoke Michaels. In the news tonight, Appeal Court dismisses PDP's case against Tinubu and Shettima. NPC promises credible census, 6 Nigerians' participation. From the foreign scene, at least 23 killed as tornado rips through Mississippi, the United States. And sports, Qatari investment group submits improved takeover offer for Manchester United. And now the stories. The Court of Appeal, Abuja, has dismissed a case by People's Democratic Party PDP seeking the disqualification of Bola Tinubu and Kassim Shettima as the presidential and vice presidential candidates of the All Progressives Congress APC in the February 25 election. The PDP had urged the appellate court to reverse the January 13 judgment by Justice Inyang Eko of the Federal High Court, Abuja, which dismissed its suit on the grounds that the PDP lacked local standing to have instituted the suit. In the unanimous judgment, a 3-member panel of the Court of Appeal, led by Justice James Abundaga, held that the PDP failed to establish its local standing. Justice Abundaga agreed that the submissions of lawyers to the respondents, including Thomas Ojo of Lateef Fagbemi and Co., described the PDP as a busybody which dabbled into issues that are internal affairs of the APC. In a related development, President-elect Asiwaju Bola Tinubu has raised the alarm over plots by some aggrieved partisans to truncate the transition process, particularly his expected swearing-in on May 29. Tinubu, in a statement by his director, Public Affairs and Minister of State for Labor and Employment, Festus Keyamo, also warned the presidential candidates of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Atiku Abubakar, and that of the Labour Party, LP, Mr. Peter Obi, against taking to the streets, while also pursuing their cases in court. In the statement issued Saturday in Abuja, the president-elect noted that those who have taken to the streets protesting against his mandate are fixated on having an interim national government. The statement noted that on many occasions after the declaration of Tinubu as the winner of the election, his public speeches and utterances have centered on reconciliation, forgiveness, and a greater vision for Nigeria. It added that the president-elect knows those who are sponsoring violent protests against his mandate, as well as their sponsors from within and outside Nigeria. The 2023 general elections will not be concluded until all petitions at the election tribunals are decided, which may take months before they are concluded ahead of transition to the incoming administration. This was the submission of a chieftain of the Labour Party and its senatorial candidate for Lagos West at the elections, Moshood Salvador, while speaking in Lagos on the 2023 elections, which produced some upsets in some states. Salvador said the nature of this year's election will prompt a high number of cases at the tribunal, pointing out that the end of the election petitions will signify the conclusion of the 2023 general elections. The Labour Party chieftain also wondered why a politician would dump a political party and defect to another one to claim its presidential ticket without adherence to the Electoral Act and the party's constitution.
Respect Nigerians. I respect Nigerians, I repeat. We are lessons to the world. They should stop comparing us with America, with UK, we are better than any nation in the world.
How?
It is only in Nigeria. It's only Nigeria that can be suffering from something and you see him smiling and strategizing. You can see the level of strategy. And they call them support groups, they call them this, they call them that. They say they don't have structure. You can see how they performed. That is enough for anybody in the whole world. It cannot happen in America. They will carry gun. If you go to UK, it will not happen like that in all those places. Government will suppress them. We are better.
And election observers during the March 18 governorship and House of Assembly elections in Ogun State have called for cancellation of the polls in the state over incidences of violence, vote buying, and disenfranchisement of voters. The observers, under the aegis of civil societies and non-governmental organizations, also said in order to save the country's democracy from collapsing, the elections must not be accepted by Nigerians. Speaking at a press conference in Abeokuta, the state capital, the national coordinator of the observers, Salako Oluroti, insisted that the polls were short of Nigerians' expectations, hence the need for cancellation and another conducted.
People were mined and killed. Party offices and public buildings were touched by arsonists and vandals. Election materials were destroyed in many polling units. Violence on the scale we saw on March 18 couldn't have possibly allowed for any semblance of fair election. In fact, all the serious elections observers have noted the commission notes that despite the much needed reform to the Electoral Act 2022, the election fell well short of Nigerian citizens. Reasonable expectations, logistical challenges, and multiple incidents of political violence.
Away from politics, the chairman, National Population Commission, Nasir Kwara, has appealed to Nigerians to make themselves available for counting during the forthcoming population and housing census, billed to hold from May 3rd to 7, 2023. Kwara said apart from being a national event, the exercise would help the government and other agencies with accurate data to work with. He added that a lot of resources and efforts had been invested to ensure that the exercise is credible and successful. The chairman, who was represented by his special assistant, Husseini Isiaku, stated this at a workshop held for social media influencers and bloggers in the country on Saturday in Abuja. He stated that the commission has not stopped engaging in activities that would ensure the exercise is successful. A two-day CSO's review meeting on the effective mechanism for promoting accountability for social protection in Lagos State by the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has ended with a unanimous call on awareness meant to push for implementation of the policies and procedures. At the training workshop, civil society organizations, including women groups and persons with disabilities, had a group discussion and shared plans of action to improve citizens' participation in the fight against corruption and efforts to ensure accountability in the Lagos State social protection policy. Participants at the training workshop were urged to engage in advocacy within their constituencies so as to bridge the gap in the social protection policy in Lagos.
The initiator of the policy is the Lagos State government. And this was as a result of what happened in the year 2020. The COVID-19 pandemic really affected more people in Lagos. Even though it's a national issue, but Lagos State is the most affected state. The major way of resolving the problem is to create more awareness. We should not rest on our horse thinking that some awareness has been done, so that each and everyone in Lagos gets to know about this policy. When power is in the hand of the people, they demand accountability.
Implementing Ministry of this policy is the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget. We are in place to see that Nigerians benefit from the resources, because the resources is theirs and we want them to benefit from it. So the social protection is to cater for the needs of those who are needy and then we are like the bridge between the government and the beneficiaries.
To enlighten the stakeholders about the social protection policy in Lagos State, which they've done so well. I went back to my members as well, and to showcase what the social protection is all about, what the benefit is for them. And we were able to identify the gaps that, yes, the government is doing some programs in which these vulnerable citizens, the ones that concern me, are persons with disability, with a major focus on persons with albinism. And we realized that there were some gaps, that the government was doing a lot of programs that people were not aware of. And we brought that to the fore, and that's, to a very large extent, all these gaps were closed.
Education is the bedrock of development of every society because other human endeavors rest on education, which is acquiring of knowledge of every form in any society. This was the assertion of a university don, Professor Kabiru Adeyemo, while speaking at an education symposium and Nigeria Study Abroad conference in Lagos, geared towards an effective and essential career strategy from high school to graduation at university. Professor Adeyemo stressed the need for Nigerian graduates to acquire knowledge based not only on what they gained at higher institutions, but also on skills they can acquire. The chairman of Committee of Vice Chancellors of Private Universities of Nigeria said at the symposium to inaugurate pro-education into the educational sector in Nigeria is a bridge to stepping into global opportunities. The country advisor of the education institution, Alaka, Yusuf Owolabi, said the group has a vision to serve as a bridge that allows young generation transmit from education to professional career.
It's actually helping to groom the future leaders of Nigeria by equipping them to acquire good education that will inevitably be of immense benefit to strengthen the country's industry, economy, social development, government affairs, and international relations. We know that private university education is unarguably one of the growing trends in the education system in the world. Providing university education to citizens should not be the solitary effort of the government, but should be the responsibility of all the stakeholders at all levels.
Why do I have 278 and I don't have admission? I've been faced by that question by my son. Dad, I have 217, I cannot get admission into Nigerian University. And after trying all I could, the next thing is you have to try again next year.
You can start training at almost no cost. You have, within 2 clicks, you get access to over 3,000 hours of content in 20 different subjects. Once you complete these trainings, which can last between 1 week to 4 weeks, you are automatically issued a certificate of participation.